couldn't find success with. But maybe that synergy that they've had versus a new Suning lineup.
We do have to hope that synergy pulls them through here, because at this point, the entirety of the LPL knows Dan's strategy. It's all around that Baron. It's all or nothing for that. Hopefully, they'll get a team composition to help complement that play style if they continue to play towards it. But as you can see, we're in picks and bans right here and right now. We've got Camille, Shyvana, and Ornn taken away from Suning. And on the other side, we've got Azir, Sejuani, and J4 stricken away.
You're immediately getting the Alistar first pick, but the junglers are going to take my attention because Sejuani, Jarvan, two top-tier junglers immediately stricken away, and we've seen Shyvana and solo queue just kind of tearing up a new one. So Kha'Zix being picked up for Suning, not surprising. Karin, though, does have a wider pool. Was known for his Rengar a little bit back, so maybe he can pick it up here. Maybe he goes standard.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to go for here. You can see on your screen, Karin. There is a bit of an interesting story with these two teams. So this is actually the third time that these two teams have played together. The first was in the LPL 2017 summer split. Suning Gaming went 2-1. The second time these two teams played was in the Demacia Cup just a few weeks ago. And again, Suning went 2-1. That being said, that was with the top running their sub-jungler XX.
Yes.
So now we look to seeing Karin come back in, fresh new year. Are Dan, now top, going to turn things around?
That's a big question. They have to answer that here because everything is pointing to a no. Suning Gaming upgraded their mid lane position. They even had the synergy with Tien, who's been with Knight on Young Miracles. And top, like sure you have Karin, sure you have Cat, but they lost BSYY, their coach. He's now on Fun Plus X. So a lot of question marks for top. I want to see what they can show.
We're certainly going to find out. They're making a bold entrance to 2018 with the Rengar jungle. On the other side, Knight gets to break out the Zoe.
This is fun. I mentioned the Rengar just because that was a Karin pick. Karin is known for his Rengar pick, so he's going towards comfort. That's nice to see. Suning just says, wait a minute, there's an OP pick up here. Why don't I just pick Zoe? Now we get to see Knight picking up Zoe for the first time.
Oh yeah, this is going to be really big. I look forward to seeing how Knight plays this out because his synergy with Tian is absolutely spectacular. During the Demacia Cup, these two were just bashing lanes all over the place. They were best known for the Jarvan Malzahar combo all over the place, but now they're taking something just as potent. However, we'll get to that in just a bit. I'm so excited. I need to calm myself down and focus what's actually on the screen. We've got Kog'Maw banned away from Choo Choo. No chance of a late game carry from top. Shen also taken off. But that's going to be Thresh and Gangplank, taken from Yoon and Xiao Ao.
That's my focus going to be on the Shen ban against Lies because that's what he was known for. These global champions. You mentioned that he wanted to go branch away from the Shen pick, kind of want to see if his champion pool gets a little bit wider. So he won't have the Shen to himself. I wonder if he just goes towards, because the Ornn got banned away, maybe a Maokai, just so they have the team fight strength of themselves.
Now we can see Yoon going towards this Tahm Kench, something that he played quite a bit during the Demacia Cup. Very heavy on the roams, picking up his AD carry, in this case that Kalista, and just running it around the map. To answer, though, you've got Choo Choo picking up that Ezreal. And with 20 seconds left on the clock, let's see what Lies goes for. If he does decide to go for that Maokai that you were talking about, it is actually locked in, though, the Gnar.
Yeah, so it's, of course, a blind pick Gnar. He doesn't know what matchup it's going to be, just so he can have some kind of split push threat. So it's going to be interesting to see what top actually goes for as the game goes on. And if Suning, because they have Xiao, who can play a split push position, it's going to go for that Vladimir.
Yeah, this is something that makes a lot more sense. With the Vladimir now locked in, Suning have got their composition all prepped and ready.
Yeah.
And Topsports Gaming looking to try to get back in this head-to-head against Suning. They've lost the last 2 times, but it did go to 3 in those previous 2 matches. Will they fare better here and now?
Yeah, that's why if you're asking that question with top, it's going to have to be Cat that can go above and beyond to get his team that game. He's on the Alistar pick. We saw what Min couldn't do with it earlier today. So we know Cat to be the engaged type player, wants to get the ball rolling for his team, so that pick works out well for him. Let's see if he can actually do it for his team.
Yeah, contrary to his name, Cat, perhaps one of the most aggressive supports in the league. Not in that he just kind of runs at you, but he plays as if there's always a team behind him, even when there isn't.
Yeah, a little bit of a lion, actually.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Probably should go for a name change. I think he's the Suning. He's a little bit of a lion
himself. Swap on over to Suning, yeah. But we'll have to see how this works out because, again, it's Topsports Gaming versus Suning here. Suning, they have been slowly growing, slowly getting better and better and better as time has gone on. Whereas Dan, they've been sticking to their guns, their one strategy. And while initially it saw success for them, they are now the owners of the longest losing streak in LPL history.
Yeah, they just have to evolve as a team. And they won't have I guess they won't have BSYY to do it. So hopefully there's going to be, I guess, a good backing in their support staff to give them a new focus for the team. And we get to see that today. I mean, last year, we saw what they can do in week 1. This time around, a lot of people are saying no to them. There are a lot of naysayers. I am a naysayer. I'll put that out there right now. But they can do it. They're going up against the Suning Gaming, and it feels like for the East, this is like a middle-of-the-card challenge.
Yeah, this is an important match.
So this is a possibility for them to go up against Suning and be able to take that game away from them.
Absolutely. If they can set the momentum strong here, moving into the rest of the split, that would be fantastic. Heck, even if they could replicate their success from 2017 summer split and just come in undefeated through group stage.
Yeah.
And through the first round of intra-conference play before getting into that cross-conference. But it looks like we have loaded onto the Rift. Ladies and gentlemen, our second match of the 2018 spring split. We've got Top taking on Suning.
You hear the crowd here. Getting a little bit excited. I'm excited I get to see Zoe get played.
Mm-hmm.
You can already see that little critters floating around her head. Summon Airy is going to be the choice in terms of the Keystone for Zoe.
Yeah, let's actually take a look at those Keystones in just a moment because we are seeing both supports run Ignite with that Summoner spell. To me, that says they're going to take the Unbound Spellbook. We heard just a little bit more about how Unbound Spellbook unlocks Alistar so much from Ming, the man himself.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Get to see a little bit of that. Hopefully. I really love the idea of Spellbook. I mean, I didn't get to see a fast cow before, I guess.
Lightning cow.
Exactly. So one thing to take a note of, because we haven't even mentioned Yoon as a support, as they get pushed up upon here. Picking up the Tahm Kench has a lot of success with the champion last year. A lot of proper cheese, of course. Once you hit level 6, once you ding 6, you can actually just look for a proper push in the bottom lane and then just ulti topside so you can get a free tower for yourself. That's been a trick for Suning Gaming last year. Maybe they can try it this time, the first game of the split.
They do have some pretty great lane swap strategies as, Paddlestar is going to miss. Knight getting a little aggressive there. Gung will take the worst half of that trade as everyone just kind of farms it out nice and early on.
And just to focus on the mid lane matchup here between Ryze and the Zoe. Now, when Zoe gets past the pick ban, there's one champion that you want to be able to go up against it, and that's the Ryze. Ryze with Cleanse, so if you ever get Sleepy Trouble bubbled, you can wake yourself up and look for a trade. The trading potential there is in Ryze's favor, so that's something that Zoe always has to worry about, especially with the jungler. And, if he has, once he dings 6, that's going to be incredibly difficult for Zoe to deal with.
We'll have to keep an eye on Karen's interaction there. We can now see those masteries. Looks like we do have Quake coming out of both of those supports. Guardian for Yoon. Classic Comet on Knight, and Unsealed Spellbook on Goong. Other than that, looks to be fairly standard. Both Assassins in the jungles. I love how it's Rengar versus Kha'Zix as well. The lore matchup. So we're getting rivalries on multiple levels.
That's pretty nice. I would like to mention that the Spellbook on the Vladimir, just to focus on that one, because right now he has Ignite Flash for the laning phase. But once he feels like he can look for team fights, when he actually wants to rotate out of the lane, he can go towards Ghost.
Ooh.
Okay.
Xiao Al pushing up a bit. He's got a hefty wave coming in.
Yeah, that's pretty massive. There may not be a cannon on that one, actually, but it's good enough.
Liz is pulling back. Tian now shows himself. Xiao Al, he takes aggro. Level 4. He's chunked low. That's an early pull. Tian tries to finish it off. First blood, Tian.
Just one more tower shot, or maybe he could trade, but not going to happen. Of course, Rengar was back in base too, so not a chance. Really solid dive here from Tian.
Yeah, and something that we were hoping to see from this team was the new synergy with the new jungler and the new mid laner. And Tian, he doesn't go to his old teammate Knight. He goes to Xiao Al in the top lane. That shows that this team is already trying to communicate, trying to converse.
Yeah, that's 2 carry threats for Suning Gaming. If you get a Vladimir head in any matchup, that's incredibly scary. He's already picked up his Frostfang, and one thing about Vladimir, sure, that's not, like, he doesn't get much stats off the mana portions of it, but once you've completed the quest, not only is it efficient gold-wise, but you just get so much movement speed just off of ability. So that's like a real snowbally pick that he can get for himself here.
We'll keep an eye on Xiao Al and see if he's going to be the one snowballing or if Tian will be setting this all up, because it was Tian who did get that first blood.
That's true.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Fury is actually pushing into Choo Choo. Eats a headbutt, but just gets picked up by Yoon right away. And we are seeing a pretty moderate CS advantage for Fury down in that bottom lane on this Callista.
Yeah, so if you're top game, if you're Karn here, who's just trying to farm himself up a Storm to get to that level 6 portion where he can really impact the game, you gotta be sweating bullets.
Yeah.
I mean, bottom lane's not looking good. Top lane dove. And mid lane, anything could happen. That's the only real lane that he can look towards as a ray of hope. Sunshine, maybe.
Luckily, point-and-click snare is actually pretty good against champions, especially when you're Rengar and you try to have to leap out. But like you said, Karen, he's racing through the jungle. You can see that jungle CS difference, a full 11 ahead of Tian, just getting closer and closer to level 6. But it is so far away, so close yet so far.
Yeah, and if he's doing that well for himself right now, he's level 5, farming up pretty well. He has double longswords. Meanwhile, Tien went towards finishing his jungle item instead. Just has one longsword to his name. He can actually just take a win if he's able to get a hop onto Kha'Zix in the jungle on the 1v1. So he's in a pretty decent spot for himself. I think he's looking for, no, there's nothing here. Maybe he can get a Krug camp this spawn.
Yeah, just waiting on the timer. He's aggressively farming his jungle as quick as he can. It's going to be so important to see which lane he actually decides to gank with that level 6 too.
There's a lot of lanes he can go for. That's a good point. Go towards bottom lane. You have an Alistar to help him out. That has flash available.
Ooh,
yes,
that's the delayed Sleepy Trouble bubble. Knight just casually walks it up the point-blank paddle star. Hits him with the paddle, not the star.
I was wondering why Ryze didn't cleanse, and I realized he already traded that out with his spellbook for a TP. So now Goong, making the first choice to just swap out, has the global pressure, but now loses the trade just because he's not able to get out of Sleepy Trouble bubble.
And already we're starting to see the damage that this Zoe can do. I love the build path too, going straight for boots too. Not only is that magic penetration with the Sork boots, it's also movement speed. It allows you to run just that little bit more for more damage on the paddle star.
It's just sad, really.
Oh, a little action in the bottom. Fury's going to eat a knockup, but with Yoon right there, what are you going to do? How can you possibly interact with that?
And how do you get past the proc that you have as the Alistar?
Huge tank of Yoon already. He's just being a bodyguard for Fury down in that bottom lane. All right, level 6, meanwhile, has been picked up for Karen. He's going to pass this blue buff over to Goong. Let's see where he decides to take this, as Knight is also picking up his own blue buff. Perhaps a little bit of incentive to interact with that lane?
Yeah, maybe. Right now, Karn has two options, top lane or mid lane. He has his ulti available for himself, so he can make the decision. It may be a little bit difficult top lane just because it's getting pushed under tower. And if you try and dive a Vladimir, that may be...
You're asking for trouble, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, especially since he has a stopwatch for himself. So he might just go for a mid lane. Zoe is actually hilariously easy to gank because her ulti, great reposition tool, not that good of an escape.
Looks like we did see level 6 from Tian taking the active camouflage, that Void Assault, for just that extra edge of stealth, the extra charge getting around the map. He's going to scout around. He's essentially swapping vision. Karen's already gotten the red buff and gotten out.
Yeah, they're kind of wondering where Karn is. Entirely just clueless because they have the bot side warded out and realizing that Karn, who's been timing his camps pretty well, just left the red buff up. So they should have some sort of inkling that his red buff is gone. Tian's going to check it out and see. He's like, oh, well, you know what? Sad face.
Yeah, it's a bit unlucky. And he is now spotted through these wards as well. No amount of active camouflage will prevent you from that control ward, the plethora of vision on that side of the map. And that's going to be top, coming out with the knowledge game with Karen here, but they're not doing anything with it just yet.
To be fair, having that ward down on the red buff should mean that Sinning will eventually have vision of Karn. Because Karn wants to reap the rewards.
Yeah,
he takes red buff. He wants the second
red.
red buff. Exactly. So if he goes to it, finds out there, or at least he won't know that the ward is being placed, but if the enemy team recognizes that he's in the bot side of the map, then Knight can play a little bit passively. Bottom lane has the Tahm Kench and can just play back. So it's going to be hard for Karn to find something here. Looks like instead they'll find a steal here.
Yeah, no, this is a bit aggressive from Suning. Traditionally, they play a bit slow during the early game, but they group up as 4. They're using that advantage that they've got to try to break this red buff. They steal it, then they just get out.
Easy peasy. I mean, that was really well done for them to find that opening. they were patient enough to wait for the waves to crash both bottom lane and mid lane to do so. If they had decided to be a little bit more, I would say impatient, regardless, if they just walked in, tried to get it, then 100% top would have tried to fight.
There's another sleepy trouble bubble onto Goong. Suning, I like what they're trying to do by opening up the map here. Oh, Tian drops a ward. He sees that Rengar.
Yeah, don't walk too closely to that bush.
Serrated Dirk against the Caulfield's Warhammer.
Here we go.
They immediately force it out. Karin just heals himself right back up.
Yeah, good burst. He healed himself too, as well as chunking Tian just a little bit. So that's going to be a little harder for Tian to try and control the Dragon's space in the bot side of the map.
Effective vision out of Suning, though, just to be sure. If Top were to try anything a little overtly aggressive. And still we resume our standard farming protocols here as Fury just keeps on trying to open up that advantage. He's 12 CS over Choo Choo so far. And the top lane, we're seeing a CS advantage for Xiao Ao plus that assist. Slowly but surely, Suning are getting towards that late game that they are so very fond of.
Yeah, you're saying that it's a bit of a standstill. Teams are just trying to jockey for position. This is the first time an opening has been created.
Xiao Ao gets knocked back. He's still sitting on that stopwatch. He's going to try to look for lies here. Flash is matched. That's going to be the pull. He's snared. That's the stopwatch. The snare falls off. Xiao Ao walks through the wave and walks away.
Yeah, that could have been a great opportunity for Top to try and find the kill, but the wave comes in an unlucky position. So what damage are you going to be doing as Rise if the wave is playing bodyguard? No.
Yeah. Excellent timing from Xiao Ao in order to escape with his life, but we are seeing some life from Top to try to get themselves back into this. And again, it must be noted, this is still the same lineup that Dan played in the previous split, and Dan had the worst early game stats at 10 and 20 minutes in the summer split in 2017.
It was a tough split, to say the least.
To say the least, it absolutely was.
I mean, they had a good first few weeks, 3 weeks, and then they went into cross-conference. And to put it into context, of course, they just didn't have the players rushing through their backline because they had like 10 players on the roster. So it gets a little bit difficult to find consistency. So this is their time, this split, to find consistency with the 5-man unit that they have right in front of them.
It's their time to shine. Question is, will they be able to shine bright like a diamond, or will the luster fade? Currently, Suning are trying to put as many dents into that as possible.
They're definitely keeping composure. Because the game seems slow because Top is trying to create a slow pace to this game. They want Ezreal to find his early power spike. They're just going in right now. Here we go.
They're going to look for Yoon. He manages to pick up Fury. We're still looking at all 4 summoners down here. Karin, he knows he's been spotted, leaps anyways to get some good damage, but he's going to be collapsed upon. Tian is racing down this side of the map to catch back up. Zoe's making her way down there as well. And they will just skirmish the front lines, the tanks, trading damage but not trading kills. Sleepy Trouble Bubble is sidestepped. That's effectively a wall they have to get through, and Choo Choo just hops over it.
All right. That was a little bit much from Top. Overall, they couldn't get anything because there's a fat frog in the lane. Catfish frog, I don't care. That was just carrying Fury back to his tower. That's why it's that hard to kind of gank the lane. They should be playing it slow and patiently because Choo Choo's getting close to his power spike. They're going for it again.
Yeah, they're going right back in. True Shot Barrage goes wide as Karin tosses a single bola but doesn't quite catch anyone. That was a bad bola. And here comes Tian trying to get in. He's going to get some damage, but doesn't have enough to finish off Cat.
I'm telling you, every single time they try these fights, they're coming out unhealthy every moment.
Oh, that's the flash.
Here we go.
There we go. Oh, just a Sleepy Trouble Bubble for the kill. Knight is able to get one. Battlestar zones away. Karin, good damage from Choo Choo. Tian is low and just flashes to safety.
It's an overall win from Suning Gaming. I have no idea what Top's trying to create. They're just trying to brute force a dive in the bottom lane, but Suning are there time and time again. Notice this. Knight has first move in the mid lane. Like, he can just clear the back wave, push the wave in, come bot every time. So if Top's trying to create these fights, they have to be fast about it. They have to be quick. But a Tahm Kench constantly saving Fury doesn't make it that quick. So they're trying time and time again, and it's actually just hurting them because Cat now had to base. They lose waves under the turret. That was just a poor point for Top when they just wanted to make this a slow early game for themselves.
All in all, it's only going to net about a 200 gold deficit from where they were, about 1,000 gold behind. But the serrated Dirk from Karin, if he never gets the chance to use that active damage onto Fury, might as well have gone for a Youmu's or something instead. But here we see Suning Gaming, 14 minutes. They swap up towards the top half of the map. Yoon Still holding on to that Abyssal Voyage. They're right on top of a ward, though.
Yeah, finally a ward catches them out in the action. Thankfully, Chuchu and Cat are ready and able. They were by the tower, so the usual, you could say cheesy play coming in from Fury and Yoon to try for that early tower top lane gets immediately countered.
Oh, there's the Abyssal Voyage. Yoon going to escort Fury back towards the bottom half of the map, hopefully a bit faster than Chuchu so they can get some turret damage.
Even smarter. You're right. They're going to get some turret damage. They're just trying to look for objectives time and time again. They went top lane to find something, realized that they were met with the enemy bottom lane, and are like, well, guess what? We'll just go straight to the bottom lane where there's an empty tower.
We'll go right on back. I believe we call that the do-si-do. Grab your partner, spin them around, run to the other half of the map, and take a turret.
I wouldn't know. I know you're a Texan and all, but
Yeah.
that's just not my thing.
I don't think that's the second line res. I'll have to do some research to find out whether or not it is.
We'll see.
But Karen, he's going to sneak up towards the top half of the map. Xiao Ao, he's already got a ward. Karen has just been stymied time and again. He cannot find an opening on this Rengar. Comfort pick or not, he's got to make something happen here.
Yeah, well, makes it all the worse for Rengar, especially in this meta, is the stopwatch is available. This time around, of course, Vladimir doesn't have stopwatch.
Yeah.
He used it for himself, but it just means that you have to invest more time to get the early ganks. And you're not exactly the best late game champion either because you're just full damage. He's already gotten his Duskblade. So he needs to get something going now. Maybe forcing dragons, but it looks like Suning is already on top of it.
Yeah, Suning pushed in the bottom lane. They pushed in the mid lane. They spotted Karen on the top side. And they're just going to use some aggressive burst damage to get through the health of this dragon. The early Morellonomicon from Knight plus the bonus damage from Tian will net that first dragon of the match.
There we go. And if it's 16 minutes into the game, you have yourself an Ocean Dragon. This means you can stay on the map a little bit longer. So the next one's, once again, another Ocean Dragon. You stack them up high, and Suning Gaming's they should start prioritizing the next dragon.
Something small that I've been noticing from Knight here is he's hanging out on the bottom half of the map, not only closer to the Kalista than Tom Kench, but he's constantly using the Paddle Star on that Raptor camp. He's always making sure, is Karen here doing this? Can I steal some of these away? Can I try to take some of his experience and gold? It just seems like such an annoying thing to do, but it's so effective with this Zoe. She can just get in and out.
Exactly. It's really nice. Except for Karin, obviously. Karin's losing so much out of this one. In that scenario, he was just kind of leaning towards Tian. But in the other cases, you were right. He was just constantly checking Raptors. And if he can take it, he can just take the small Raptors. That's experience in his pockets
and gold, yeah.
And experience away from Karin.
Tiny little things that Suning are doing to demonstrate, hey, we have learned and grown.
Yeah, and it just stacks up. Right now, much earlier on, Rengar had a pretty sizable CS lead over the Kazakhs. Not anymore. Kazakhs was able to catch up, and that's just because once you have the control over the map, you push yourself forward, you can also get the Raptors as well. Cat gets caught out.
Ooh, looks like we had top trying to set a trap, trying to catch Suning, but they're spotted out in advance. Even though it's 4 members of top, they weren't able to find any kills. They might be able to get this turret, though. Next wave is about to crash.
This is going to be trade and pressure. I wonder where Goong is going to be going. He's going straight mid so they don't lose both top and mid lane. But he cancels it.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting. Now, that is first brick towards Topsports. Tian will get behind Lies. That's a good stun against the wall. Tian is low. Oh, the stopwatch to get away from the building. Xiao Ao with the flash. Pops the nullifying orb. But that is one turret taken by top.
But overall, look at this decision being made from Suning Gaming. They recognize bottom lane is getting piled on by members on members on members. They're like, let's just ditch it, get 2 towers. I am wondering why Goong decided to not complete his TP mid lane so he can try and save that lane.
Honestly, it's a question you'll have to ask him yourself, because now it's 3 turrets to 1. What was a 1,000 gold difference now blossoming to a 3,000 gold difference. As Suning Gaming, ever so patient, taking their time. Opening up advantage after advantage. Now Karen will step forward. Immediate flash from Knight. Not even using the Spell Thief, just trying to get out away from that Rengar.
Yeah, keeping Knight honest on it. Like, if he keeps using vision like that when he has nobody behind him, you gotta have to force him out at some point. It's a little bit risky coming in from top, thinking they can try and take Rift Herald.
Now, I like what they're doing here. They are trying to take this Rift Herald, as Suning Gaming looks like they're ready to fight them. They're grouping up. Sleepy Trouble Bubble catches the Herald. Not quite the intended target. Let's see how this breaks out. Suning, are they ready to hop in? Rift Herald just given away?
Yeah, they wanted to play that one safely. Just because they didn't have Xiao L, he didn't have TP. It was off It was on cooldown, that is, and he was in the bottom lane just trying to make it work. So there were just more members of top gaming, and even though they had a lead, they didn't want to try to push him off.
Just playing it safe, trying to maintain the advantage that they have. Knock up, going to be hitting Knight. They know he has no flash. Sleepy Trouble Bubble goes wide. He goes forward and right on back. Good damage, but not enough.
Maybe Suning can try and counteract this.
Oh, Tian goes in. He's looking for a fight. He's actually going to try to get in there. That's a good headbutt. Teleport from Lies. He's Mini-Gnar.
But you know what that means? Just because they were able to try and push them off this tower, that's TP off of Lies, and he has to try and sit in the bottom lane dealing with the Vladimir with TP that's going to be coming up in about a few seconds, 20 seconds or so. So overall, great job from top. They get a kill in the top lane. They caught Knight sleeping. Realized he didn't have any members once again. Just
wait a sec. That's your own arm in that camera photo. They're able to call him out on his shenanigans.
Yeah, push him out of there. So overall, top they're still trying to get something going, and that's a positive. They even tried to double down with Lies TPing there. So I like the fact that they're just trying to get the fights and skirmishes that are in front of them to work. But they're using a lot of resources for you. That's the only thing I have to flag, is that a lot of resources being used, and it allows Xiao Al more room to kind of play within the bottom side.
Yeah, take a look at that CS advantage. 35 CS ahead, nearing 40 now as he just passes over. That Leandri's is going to be doing some great damage regardless of the Mortius that we're seeing out of Lies. But this is just slowly but surely, Suning Gaming stepping closer and closer to a gold lead that they're comfortable with, so that they can get to that late game that they do like to play.
Here we go, though.
Xiao Al, he just drops the Hemoplague and turns it around. Look at that. That was Tides of Blood, Hemoplague, and he have health's Lies.
Yeah, a little bit sad, honestly. It's just it's a sad matchup. If the Vladimir is able to react first, let's just say an off-world Lies catches him off, throws a boulder, puts him to like 50% HP, maybe. But you know what?
Diving onto Lies here. Nullifying Orb is popped. Look at the health Xiao Al gets back. No amount of magic resist will protect you from that Kha'Zix. But Top Sports Gaming, the same team from 2017 summer, the Barons are at it again.
Suning will not let them get away with this. That's a TP on Xiao Al. He's going to be able to react to this.
Goes back to the base to heal himself up, holds onto the TP, and just walks away.
See, that's the thing about Suning, is that they know, they understand what Top's trying to do, make a play on the bottom side of the map, but have an option on the top side.
Yeah, making a play on the mid side of the map now. Sleepy Trouble Bubble will miss, but they do get a slow onto Choo Choo. The knock-up, the follow-up, another kill for Suning.
Just like that. You know what? Somehow, Knight was able to pick himself up. What's that item again? GLP? Hextech GLP? Love that champion. Yes, I do. No, I don't.
Spell Thief on Zoe. Yeah, the GLP 800 for the, people call it the Ice Hose.
Yep.
But now, look at this. They managed to kill the Ezreal. A majority of the wave clear. Ryze wasn't there. They just push right back down mid, and look at the damage they do to that inhibitor 22 minutes in.
Yeah, they have to get out of there. And this is what's turning into a troubling environment for Top, because they want to be able to get these fights going for themselves. But somehow, Tian, who we've been talking about being a great pair with Knight, has actually just decided, no, my real friend is Xiao Al.
Yeah.
And every single moment of this game, they find themselves an opportunity to just jump on Lies in a 2v1 scenario.
Take a look at this. They're trying to catch Knight here. Whoa. He hops forward and back. Sleepy Trouble Bubble over the wall. Buys some time. But there goes the True Shot Barrage. There goes the auto attack from that Lies. And they're able to break down Knight. Will they be able to break down this turret? Oh, they've got Herald at full health. Of course they will.
Yeah, this is going to be great for Top. In fact, they should be able to push into the second tower. They don't have Zoe sitting, so they really just have to let this one go.
Yeah, Tian is coming in from the side. That's half health missing on that Rift Herald. Now you can see the slows coming out from Tian as he's trying to get a little bit of harass onto the side.
And Choo Choo is starting to deal some damage. His poke is starting to mean something. He's able to get himself the more mana 22 minutes into the game. So here comes the damage coming from Top.
They're turning now towards this Ocean Dragon. Tragically unable to take the Tier 2. They have to take the consolation prize of an Ocean Dragon. Not quite what they want, but that means Suning swaps over and starts clearing out vision around this Baron, trying to deny Top, something that they love so very dearly.
That's a massive wave.
Lies is also rocking that teleport too. Xiao Al, he's actually on the top side of the map. Recall just started now.
Yeah, this is great for Top. Be able to get that massive wave pushed into the tower. He's playing a little bit safe, but that means that he gets the opportunity to join his team to reclaim control of the Baron area. Right now, that's being controlled, that's being held onto by Suning, but it shouldn't be for long the moment Lai starts walking over.
Now, Xiao Ao, there's the completed quest on that Frost Queen's claim. And that wave just gets absolutely cleared out by the Vladimir. 250 to 190, 60 CS, roughly equivalent to 4 kills worth of gold. Not to mention the 2 level advantage.
Yep, got himself his Zhonya's finished off too. He is primed, ready for a flanking team fight.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's pretty big.
Yeah. Now we're starting to see Suning Gaming start to press up on the map a little bit. You can see Xiao Ao, he pushed up bottom, going to roam towards mid, see what he can do. Knight catching top.
But it's a nice tit for tat coming in from top, because the moment they saw Xiao Ao clearing the bottom lane wave, they recognized that was an opportunity to be able to clear out some of the vision coming in the Baron area. Now, they're not going to keep it for long. Already, Suning Gaming are going in just to clear it out. But it's nice that they are able to contest this a little bit more frequently, buy time for Chu-Chu to be able to get his Blade of the Rune King. Once he's able to get that, it's a lot easier for them to contest teamfights along with the Rise.
Now stepping back up into the mid lane, Gung with his Abyssal Mask, Staff of the Seraphim, and Zhonya's. He's starting to get towards that late game Rise. Still no Blade of the Ruin King on this Ezreal as Knight.
Boom.
Ooh!
Boom,
the casual half-health chunk from over the wall.
That's the sad thing when it comes to vision control with Zoe. The moment she has full control with her team towards Baron side, Dragon side, doesn't really matter what side, just any side of the mid lane, she's able to get free damage off of that. She doesn't even have to look for a Sleepy Trouble bubble to try and contest. So she was able to get it for free on top of Cat, and that had to immediately base him.
Ooh, manages to catch the Ezreal here. I don't want to go to bed. It's not bedtime yet. Chu-Chu is going to be walked away by his team. Will not get tucked in by Knight. Redemption is ready. Oh! He still catches him over the wall. Heal barely keeps him alive. And the chase forward from Suning. They smell blood in the water, and they're going to try to chase it down. Rise hops over the wall, but look at Xiao Ao go. He's just racing down the lane, catching up. Cat is going to get a huge chunk. He's going to have to go to bed. Meanwhile, the follow-up onto Gung. They lock it down. It's 1 kill for 2, Suning.
And they're right beside Baron. Like, why not just go for it? That means that Karn is going to have to pull off his hero shoes. Maybe they can make a Baron fight happen. Liza is really close to Mega Gnar. That will have to be their play.
All right, Karen, what have you got? Show me what you got. That's Ebola over the wall to try to catch up to Yoon. Liz is doing what harass he can. True shot barrage.
Have to go for a fight.
All righty, it's down to half health. The blast cone is still there. Baron is getting lower. He leaps over. He tries to get in the snare, the stun. He gets 1 kill. He manages to kill Tian, and they're trying to turn this into a fight. Look at the Ren stack, 70 health, but the auto attack secures Baron. Suning are going to clean this fight up. Sleepy Trouble Bubble for the execution.
And it was the 2 carries of Suning Gaming, Knight and Fury, that made the fight possible, because Knight was able to get in and out, obviously had the killing blow, but Fury, he was just hopping right, getting everyone away from him, because Rengar, and of course, what was the, oh god, it was the Rengar and Liz, of course, being able to just jump on top of him and get the kill, because they weren't going to be able to get the final hit because Kalista had so many Ren stacks on top of Baron. They just wanted the team fight win.
Yeah, so this is the replay. Karen, he sinks it nigh perfectly with Liz popping into that Mega Gnar form. Raz, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, he found the blast cone. Of course, Ezreal ulti to get something going. But Knight was able to lay down the Sleepy Trouble bubble. It was very difficult for Ezreal to find a way in. So even though this looked beautiful, it took a long time for Chu-Chu to show up. It was just impossible just because of the zoning that Knight had there. So incredible team fight coming in from Suning, made possible by Zoe.
Brought to you by Zoe. The I don't want to go to bed. Please let me stay up and watch another episode of Netflix so that I cannot die to the damage from that paddle star. Looks like there's some action in the bottom lane. Suning immediately putting that Baron to use. And Liz, along with the rest of top, trying to catch them here as Xiao Ao gets destroyed by Karen. Meanwhile, Yoon gets left out to dry, bounced back and forth, and goes down.
Yeah, they were surprised with how prepared top was in that scenario. Karin was just lying in wait, so they might want to just peace out.
Ooh, yeah, this is 3 versus 5. It's a bit dangerous, but look at the harass that Knight is doing, just tossing out that bubble over and over.
Yep.
Ooh, nearly caught Gung there. That would have been a big hit.
You wouldn't believe the cooldown that this item has.
Tell me, Rez.
Tell
me how you really feel.
I'm just saying. Wait a minute.
Felt
like 2 seconds ago he threw that.
And, ooh, the assassination. Knight manages to line up the hitbox. Chuchu says, "I'll protect you, Mr. President," and then he misses the bullet.
I'm just saying, tanks can't even take that. If you have a bulletproof vest and you're walking up and you still get hit by that bullet, you might want a refund.
That's not a bullet. You take a bulletproof vest to a bazooka. That's not going to help you there.
Yeah, nothing can help a bazooka.
Exactly.
Nothing can help that one.
Oh, man. Knight, he's starting to get some big damage there. 3 items, full penetration with the Leandri's Void Staff and Sork Boots. He is absolutely going to hurt if he manages to catch you. And you got to be on your toes to try to dodge this.
So this is the game Sunning's trying to play. You already saw the ward that Knight just cleared. You already saw the control ward they placed in the mid lane. They're trying to push control ward, push visions up so deep that there's no way top can try and place a ward without getting hit by a Sleepy Trouble Bubble. It's a pure pick comp, and there's only one champion right here that can pick you.
Well, I mean, you've got Tian in there. He's going to be doing a little bit of damage.
Maybe you can slow him.
Oh, that one barely misses. There's the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Goong, he's trying to sidestep as best he can. Take a look at his summoner spells, by the way. Swapping back to the cleanse.
Ah, wonderful. Yeah, you might want that again.
Respecting that. We should start calling Knight Mr. Sandman because he is putting people to bed in this game.
It's just that easy.
Yeah, 31 minutes in now. Still got the Baron buff on 3 members of Suning for at least this wave. Ooh, Cat. Not going to be catching that Sleepy Trouble Bubble.
And so I make a joke about this, but that's the state of the game right now for Zoe. That damage was nonsensical.
Yeah.
And so it allows them to push up and try for this tower.
They're going to be able to break it down. The inhibitor finally shattered, finishing the job they started 20 minutes ago. Finally, this inhib goes down. Suning just take it, casually walk away.
Yeah, their next targets are going to be the inner tower and top lane and bottom lane. Look at the bottom lane wave, too, so that's an easy go for it. You can just see Knight should just kind of stake out his claim in this side of the jungle. He shouldn't show himself on the wave just because he wants to, strike the fear in God in them.
Remind them who's the boss in this one. All right, True Shot Barrage fired across. Still, they continue to push forward with that regeneration on Knight. He'll heal himself back up.
And this is when Suning should play this one out patiently. It doesn't matter how many waves they have to wait. Mid lane is going to be, well, I mean, if you hit that Sleepy Trouble Bubble, sure. But mid lane is slowly pushing in because they have super minions. So right now it's on top to try and force this fight.
Yeah, Karen is thinking about it. This is the exact same location where top won their fight against Suning in the Demacia Cup in game number 1. Perhaps trying to replicate that exact same scenario. But Suning, they're not falling for it. Like we said, they're a team that are learning and growing.
Yeah, and so Karin loses his ulti. Top lane is pushing in favor of Suning Gaming. Apparently, poke is being landed by Knight. This is Armageddon right now, and unless if they can go for a fight here.
Yeah, Xiao Ao walks in. That's the Hemoplague. The dive begins as the fight breaks out. Fury steps forward. Knight on the side looks for Karen. Meanwhile, Lies has been shredded as Xiao Ao with the flash Tides of Blood gets some big damage. Not enough to find any kills outside of Lies, but they are going to try to finish off this inhib or perhaps finish the game here.
Yeah, they don't have a tank. Lies is down for the count, so they can try for something. They don't necessarily have the range unless if they're trying for a Sleepy Trouble Bubble.
Instead, they just swap it right on back. Again, not taking any chances. Looking for this inhibitor now, but they've got to respect some of this damage that can come out of Chuchu, that can come out of Karen if he can find a target.
They're already pinging topside, too. They know that the wave is piling up, so they can kind of stick around. It looks like they're kind of backing, but know that they can just look to base to where the minion is.
Oh, they're going to warp on top of Knight. The quick portal to get him in. Xiao Ao, he's snared, drops down. And slowly but surely, Suning Gaming, they're actually getting out of this just fine. Top, they wanted it so badly, but they couldn't do anything. They're losing their base.
Back and forth, back and forth.
Ooh.
Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, like a pendulum, it swings. Tian engages this time. Oh, that's the Zanya's. Sleepy Trouble Bubble wears off. Goong flashes away. Knight in the front. He's going to have to get out of this situation. And look at the burst. Cat goes down. The quick save onto Knight. He's very low health. Tian popped by the GA. Lies is in the fight now. He's got that big slam. He finds 2. Tries to follow it up with more. Knight finally dies in the back. But Xiao Ao is massive. He is doing some work on this Vladimir. And now that Tian is back in with the GA, he will drop to Chuchu, but it is just not enough. Look at the damage out of Suning. Look at the cleanup, the chase, and a quick tongue lash tossed out by Yoon will clean it up.
And it could just be the game. Right now they're porting right towards it, but that was such a smart back and forth from Suning Gaming, knowing that they had the waves in their favor, and they just had to wait for top to just kind of look for a fight and fail.
Just have to wait for someone to get out of position. Still Suning ever the patient team. Even with 4 members dead, they just take the inhibitor and walk away. Again, they are used to playing in the late game, more comfortable with it, even if it does mean there are more coin flip scenarios.
Oh, that's really surprising. If that was LGD there, just go for it.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter. We have the members. We have an 80 carry.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, well, it's not the Sleeping Dragon. It's the Roaring Lion. Suning Gaming, 7 kills ahead, 8,000 gold up. 35 minutes in, Baron has respawned, and let's take a look at these items that they've got now that they have so much more gold in their pockets.
Yeah, I'm starting to go straight towards it. I love the items coming in from Yum. He's incredibly tanky.
He's real big.
He's so tanky. He already has a Knight's Vow, and so he decided to go towards a Redemption as well to top his entire team up. So it feels like even if you make a mistake, if you're Xiao, you may have tried for a bad fight. Not only do you have your Crimson Blood to rejuvenate your HP, you have that nice little touch in the support item to make you go on a little longer.
Absolutely. Slowly but surely, Suning Gaming opening up their advantage just a bit more. And now they're fighting around that Baron. Sleepy Trouble Bubble will be burst out of by Cat, but that's his ultimate gone.
Yep, Cat died to the last Sleepy Trouble Bubble a little while back, so he knows how much damage he can do. He doesn't have ulti because he just broke CC off of it, so now he's going to be the target.
Yeah, caught by another one. He doesn't have the ultimate this time. Huge amount of burst, and he goes down. Meanwhile, Karen in the back trying to find a way in, but Tian happily trading with him. He actually gets the kill with Knight. Meanwhile, Xiao, Al, Yoon, and Fury are happily finishing off this fight. Goong, the sole survivor, gets spat back out and swarmed upon as everyone tries to get in Yoon for the journey, for the finish, for the end of game number 1.
And just how clean is that? Like, honestly, go straight towards Baron. They have to fight us at Baron. That was their desperation call. And then you just throw in a Sleepy Trouble Bubble, you throw in a Tom Kench, and you get a fight for yourself.
Yeah, and sometimes while we do have to criticize, we do end up, criticizing Suning for their more patient play. Yeah. It pays off in the end because they know how to play against the enemy team. With that, Suning Gaming break down the next